Today, we're going to dig into something really critical, a challenge that honestly affects democracy and individual lives right across India. I'm talking about the judicial pendency crisis.
Yeah.
Let's unpack this. Our mission here is to try and grasp the sheer scale of it, figure out what's actually driving this immense backlog, look at the real-world impacts, and importantly, explore some of the solutions being tried. And this scale, when you look at the numbers, it's just mind-boggling. Get this. As of September 2025, the Supreme Court alone, it hit an all-time high, 88,417 pending cases.
Wow, even with its full bench strength.
Exactly, full strength of 34 judges. And that's just the top court. Broaden that out. We're talking over 5 core. That's 50 million cases pending across the entire system.
50 million, it's hard to even picture that.
It really is. And what makes it even more concerning is how long these cases linger. Almost 75% of high court cases, 74.9% to be exact, and over 63% in the subordinate courts. They've been waiting for more than a year.
More than a year just waiting. That's right.
It's a huge, huge challenge. So with numbers like these, you have to ask, here's where it gets really interesting. What's actually causing this massive logjam? How did we end up here?
Right. And what's fascinating here is it's not just one thing. It's definitely a multifaceted problem. First off, you've got plain judicial overload coupled with a serious infrastructure deficit. Our sources point to over 400 judicial posts just sitting empty.
100 vacancies?
Yeah. And the judge-to-population ratio, it's incredibly low, about 21 judges per million people.
21 per million. What's recommended?
Well, the Law Commission recommended 50 per million, so we're less than halfway there.
Okay, so a massive shortage of judges. What else?
What's also quite striking is who the biggest litigant is. It's the government itself.
The government?
Yes, nearly half. Think about that. Around 46% of all pending cases involve the government in some way. And get this, roughly 70% of those government cases, they're considered frivolous, baseless.
Wait, 70% of the government's own cases are seen as frivolous. That seems counterintuitive.
It does, doesn't it? Imagine the court's time taken up by cases that arguably shouldn't even be there, initiated by the government itself. Then you add procedural issues. Frequent adjournments, investigations dragging on because there aren't enough forensic labs.
Right, the practical bottlenecks.
Exactly. And the misuse of things like special leave petitions, SLPs, under Article 136. They're meant for really exceptional, important constitutional questions, but they get filed, well, far too often, adding to the Supreme Court's load.
Okay, so judge shortages, infrastructure gaps, the government clogging the system with its own often frivolous cases and procedural delays. That's quite a mix. So what does this all mean? What are the actual consequences for people, for the country?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the impacts are severe. Constitutionally, it's a direct hit on Article 21, the fundamental right to a speedy trial. It's enshrined, but in practice.
It's being violated daily for millions.
Precisely. And consider this statistic. 75% of prisoners in India are under trial.
3/4.
Yes. 3/4 haven't been convicted. They're waiting for their trial, sometimes for years behind bars. That's a massive human rights concern, you know.
75% are under trial. Innocent until proven guilty, but effectively imprisoned before trial. That's sobering.
Absolutely. And then there's the economic cost. It's estimated to be around 1.5% of India's GDP annually.
1.5% of GDP just lost to delays.
That's the estimate. It hits investor confidence hard. Businesses become wary about enforcing contracts. It acts like a brake on economic growth.
I can see that. Uncertainty kills investment.
It really does. And perhaps most fundamentally, think about public faith. Persistent grinding delays. They just weaken the rule of law. People start losing trust in the justice system's ability to deliver fairness, to protect them.
That erosion of trust is possibly the most dangerous long-term effect, isn't it?
I would argue so. It undermines the very foundation of a functioning democracy.
Okay, the picture is clear, and it's quite grim. But what's being done? Are there efforts underway to tackle this monumental challenge? Any reform showing promise?
This raises an important question. And yes, there are definitely initiatives. On the tech front, the eCourts Mission Mode project is quite significant. We're talking video conferencing for hearings, e-filing systems to reduce paper, even live streaming court proceedings for transparency.
Technology helping efficiency. Makes sense.
Right. And there's also AI being explored. Tools like SUPACE, which helps judges research and sift through case law faster, and SUVAS for translating judgments and legal documents, trying to make the judges' jobs more manageable.
AI in the courts.
Interesting.
What about specific court types?
Yes, fast-track courts are also part of the strategy. There are over 800 operational now, designed to handle specific types of cases, like those involving heinous crimes or sensitive issues, more quickly.
And tackling the government litigation issue.
There's the National Litigation Policy. The aim is, essentially, to make the government a more responsible litigant, reduce those frivolous cases we talked about.
Easier said than done, perhaps.
Well, yes, implementation is key. Alongside that, there's a big push for alternative dispute resolution ADR. Things like Lok Adalats, which are like people's courts, settling smaller disputes quickly and amicably.
Mediation, too.
Exactly. Compulsory mediation in many civil cases now, especially with the Mediation Act of 2023, trying to resolve disputes before they clog the main court system.
And any bigger structural changes being discussed?
There are proposals, yes, like a National Judicial Infrastructure Authority, the NJIAI, to specifically focus on improving court facilities, buildings, technology across the country. And the idea of an all-India judicial service, the AIJS, under Article 312, that would mean centralized, uniform recruitment for district judges, potentially addressing that vacancy issue more systematically.
Those sound like potentially game-changing reforms, especially the infrastructure and unified service ideas. But how effective are these things proving on the ground? Any major hurdles?
It's a mixed bag, as you'd expect. The intent behind these reforms is generally good, but implementation across such a huge, diverse country is always the challenge. Technology adoption, for instance, isn't uniform. Rural courts might lag behind urban ones in access or training.
The digital divide hits the judiciary, too.
Absolutely. And getting government departments to truly buy into reducing litigation and embracing ADR, that takes a cultural shift, overcoming bureaucratic inertia. It's definitely, like you said, easier said than done. It's progress, but it's slow and requires sustained effort. It's certainly more of a marathon than a sprint.
A marathon indeed. So as we wrap up, maybe something for you, the listener, to consider. Think about the profound impact on democracy, on individual lives, when justice, even though it's promised, is perpetually delayed. What does that phrase, a right to speedy trial, truly mean when 5 Crore cases are still waiting? It's a question that really demands our attention, doesn't it? And maybe our collective action.